What's up, fight fans? It's Jake the Barbabian. We're here at the world famous Coin Academy, and you're watching Psilo Talk.
Here we go. What is up, everybody? Annibal the Animal here, and you are watching Psilo Talk. Today, guys, we have an awesome guest in the house. He is a professional MMA fighter. He is a former bar owner, the true Roadhouse. He is Jake the Barbabian. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Today's show is sponsored by Macabars, the leading psilocybin chocolate bar company in the world. And of course, we have a sponsor for Jake Barbabian, BioCBD. You want to tell us a little bit about your sponsor, brother?
BioCBD, it's been a tremendous help in my fight camps, helping me recover, helping me stay on the game. And in our sport, it ain't easy, so any edge really helps. So shout out BioCBD. Thank you for the team helping me and everyone else around us.
Awesome. Thanks to all the sponsors out there. And again, guys, welcome to the show. Hell yeah, brother. How's your day going today?
Going good, man. About to have some fun.
Hell yeah. It's a fun place to be in here at the world famous Coin Academy. So thank you again for coming down here to the lovely city of Pasadena. I know you drove all the way from Long Beach, right?
Beautiful drive, yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. What were you listening to on the way here? Some more reggae?
Yeah, some more reggae. You got that.
Yeah, so you're Hawaiian, right?
Born and raised on the big island of Hawaii. Sicilian Armenian is my background. Parents, my dad's side, fourth generation American from Sicily. So,
hell yeah, bro.
Bit of a culture, like a mutt, I guess you could call it.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah,
but it's definitely, you come from a warring tribe, brother. Warring people. They're survivors.
That's fact.
Hell yeah. So let's get into it, man. I'm really curious in hearing your story because I've been seeing you for some time now, but I've never had the chance to actually sit down and talk to you. And I love characters, bro, and you're a character. I was talking to Chris Buckner, the owner of UNF, which you are a athlete of, that I was thinking of casting you for a film that I'm going to be putting together because you have a really good look. The haircut, the style, everything. I really dig it.
What's the movie, Roadhouse?
Hopefully not. Just kidding. Another Roadhouse. I'm gonna have you play Conor McGregor's role. Yeah, man. So what got you into the fight world? Tell us a little bit about your background as far as combat sports and the martial arts as well.
Growing up from a young age, I've always been fascinated in combat. Growing up in Hawaii, of course, a lot of us spent a lot of time grappling, fighting, you name it, we did it. What really struck my attention is kind of the freedom you get, doing something you love and having time beside it. It wasn't a 9 to 5, and, having the opportunity to pursue jiu-jitsu and stuff kind of open up the world, give me an opportunity to pursue MMA. Can't just wake up and choose that career,
Was your first sport that you competed in BJJ? What was the first choice for you?
First combat sport was wrestling, but I was mainly in soccer and stuff. We didn't have a big athletic program in Hawaii, so just team sports and stuff all kind of suffered a little bit when we were growing up.
Yeah, so it was just either soccer or wrestling?
Yeah, football was tough too. You got a lot of politics amongst the small community. All the dads are coaches. You know how it is.
I forget. It's an island, so it's like a small community. Like everybody knows everybody, right?
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
We got they call it coconut wireless out there. It's the word travels so fast amongst people. Small community. They know what you're gonna do before you do it.
So you went to you were born in Hawaii. Mm-hmm. When did you leave and come out here to the States?
So I landed out here just about 4 years ago in January. I got sent out here to take care of my grandfather, and he also owned a bar, Crow's Cocktails, located on Naples Island in Belmont Shore of Long Beach. Fantastic bar, like a local institution. People have been going there for years, but he aged out of his ability to run it, so getting immersed in that industry, which I was experienced in before, but it was a new environment and stuff. A lot to learn, running a business, of course. But it gave me a big network, a lot of people out here, met friends, countless amounts of friends. So
Hell yeah. So you came out here to pretty much run a business. Yeah. So you're an owner operator. You were actually in the bar. Actually, you know what? You showed me the video of you picking somebody up and carrying them out of the bar. So it was like the true. What are some of the craziest things that happen inside of a bar when you work there?
Yeah, the first one was, of course, it went viral. I've had to take it down off Instagram. But my dad, we were working there together, and this guy got real drunk. He's like, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up. My dad's like, all right, you cut off. He left. I turn around, and he's behind the bar. He's like, I need another drink. Oh, shit. Fucking, I just finished leg day over at Iconic Fitness. So, I got a nice good pump going and stuff. And next thing you know, he's up on my shoulder. I'm walking him out, and I tossed him onto the concrete. My dad comes running down the street, and the guy's got blood coming. What the fuck happened? He's gone for a minute and a half. I'm like, I don't know what happened.
You're like, my talent came out.
That was a good one. That was a memorable moment for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So when did you start doing MMA?
So I pursued MMA as so we didn't really have like an MMA gym in Hawaii where I trained particularly. It was like jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, so we had to blend it, and I had to put my own time in. Moving out here, I was boxing, and the coach at Jackrabbit introduced me to the coach at Body Shop, which is where I train now under Antonio McKee, Wyatt Watson, AJ McKee. We got some young studs in there. AJ, also former Bellator champion. Man, some just real dogs. And yeah, that's pretty much my first MMA gym. I've been there for about 2.5, 3 years now.
Okay. So from the time that you started, pursuing MMA, how long did it take before you took your first fight?
6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
Damn, you crazy, bro. You're like right away into it. Away. Well, at the same time, I didn't know until right when you came here, you had a really long BJJ career, right? And as far as wrestling, did you compete in wrestling in high school, college? So
I did compete in wrestling. My development through high school was a little slower than some of the athletes I competed against. I didn't have my nutrition in check. I wasn't, the biggest kid. So I didn't have a fulfilled wrestling career. Injuries actually took me out my senior year. So I left school with like a deprivation, I think you'd say deprivation, to redeem that kind of athletic ability that I had. I lost my opportunity, and it was regretful. And I came across jiu-jitsu, and I just went on a tear, man. I mean, like every tournament, every weekend, I spent my life savings island to island doing all these tournaments. And everyone's like, you waste your money. And you know what, man? It really paid off, and it taught me a lot. And I met a lot of people again, because network's everything.
Yeah.
Hang out with the right people, you meet the right people, and it'll do you wonders.
Right. So the concept of this show is I like to go through my guest hero's journey. So what I look at you as is you're an artist in your own right. You chose your platform, your canvas, it's a cage, or a ring or whatever you're combating in, and you're expressing yourself in that cage, right? But you're an artist, and the journey of the artist is a hero's journey. The first step of the hero's journey, they call it the step into the unknown or the calling. Something inside you say like, man, I really want to do this BJJ thing. Everybody in your normal life, in your ordinary life, is telling you, man, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. Why are you doing that? You're going to get hurt, and sometimes it's out of fear for you. Like maybe your parents don't want you to get hurt and don't want you to whatever. Sometimes it's out of jealousy. Maybe they do see, this guy has potential. I don't want him to succeed because then it's going to make me look bad. Sometimes it's just hate, whatever it is, but the hero doesn't care. He has this burning desire inside of him to showcase what it is that's inside. But the fear is what stops most people. But that's what makes you a hero, right? You hear the call and you step out of your ordinary life. So for you, when did you know this is what you wanted to do for sure? Or are you still like at this point in your life where you're doing BJJ, where you're still kind of uncertain of where you want to go?
No, I'm 100% in on this career. I'm still very new to the career, so I've had my ups and downs. I wouldn't call myself a veteran of the sport, but I've suffered my first loss last year via TKO. I've had multiple finish, set the record for fastest submission. I was ranked number 1. Fought through a dislocation. I've had countless amounts of experience in my matches and fights, and you see it from afar, getting into the career, it's fun, but man, it's fucking crazy, and you got injuries, and it's real, and I've had a lot of friends suffer career-ending injuries, so it's kind of one of those things you don't know when the moment's going to end. So it's I carry a lot of grace for this sport. I really am very passionate to be a part of it and grateful. And, you know, and it's tomorrow's not promised in this sport, you know?
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yeah, man. It's passion. Passion. The root word of passion comes from a Latin word that means to suffer or to endure. So when you have passion for something, it means you're willing to suffer for it. You're willing to endure whatever it takes to make it come to fruition or to showcase what it is that you want to do, your art. And the martial arts is one of those things where, like, you could train your whole life for that one moment, but something can strip it away, an injury or, you know, something silly, you fall, like out, not even competing, you know, doing something dumb, you know, and that's life. Life is fragile. There is nothing certain in life. So for people that go out there and have the courage to, you know, compete, my hat tip off to you, you know. So myself, I'm a method creator, so I like to experience things for myself. So since right now I'm currently writing a screenplay about an MMA fighter, I wanted to feel it. I wanted to feel what it was like, you know, to get punched in the head, to hit people, to do that. So I started doing BJJ, Muay Thai, all of this stuff like 6 months ago. And I'm 36, bro, and I have years of abuse, you know?
That's how we do it, bro.
I used to bodybuild back in the day, so I have like a herniated disc. You know, I've torn muscles. I've dislocated my shoulder too. I've done all kinds of damage to my body. So now I'm coming back, and like the first couple of months, I was like, fuck, I don't know shit. And my conditioning's horrible. And then I started to get like, oh yeah, it's starting to come back, you know, like my athletic stuff's coming back. And then I tear my fucking calf, you know, then my back goes out, and then I dislocate my shoulder. And I started to feel depressed, bro. I started to feel like, what the fuck? Like, why can't I do what I want to do? You know, like I feel all these things are getting in the way. But what I realize is that you can heal your body. You can accomplish your goals, but you have to be extremely, extremely dedicated and disciplined. You know, so when I see guys like you that are in the cage and fighting, I know the amount of work and effort that it takes, man, just to make the fucking weight. You know? Sometimes I'd rather
a whole nother fight.
I'd rather do all the training, but the eating is like fuck, you know. So I know the mental toll that you take on top of the physical toll, because it's pain. You know, but at the end of the day, that same pain is a lesson, and it's helping you build what it is that you want to accomplish, you know? So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about mentorship. Who are some of your mentors along your MMA journey that have kind of helped you and taught you what you do?
So, of course, you know, right off the bat, I got to go with my coach, Weil Watson. He's been, you know, a big factor in my life because his flexibility, talking to me on the phone late at night, you know, talking off the nerves, the beginning fights. I got it down now, weight cut, this and that. But he was there when I'd have to call him, you know, like when we leave the gym, like the work's not done. I got to go home, eat, measure my food, figure it out. So I got to give him, you know, a lot of my respect. And he's got a family and he's getting into the police academy right now. So to make time for me too is tremendous. And I admire his character a lot. Along with him, you know, Antonio has kept me on a great track. And my dad, you know, he's been there for emotional, financial, and physical support, you know, trying to help me with my meals. So those are things, you know, a couple mentors in my life that I want to build my character after, you know, because they made a big impact for me.
Yeah, so the mentor is a key component in the hero's journey.
100%.
You know, these are like the wizards, the oracles, the people that have this wisdom that you need in this specific time of your life to get to where you want to go. You know, so what is it that you want to accomplish? Where do you want to go? What is your goal with your career?
So of course, accolades is a big one. You know, I'd like to have a professional belt. You know, I can call my own. But there's a bigger message behind all this that I'm trying to get out. And growing up, I feel like I had to kind of find my place on my own, fight against bullying, stuff like this. So I went through a dark place. I had to explore my mind and find out what works for me. And the message I want to pass off to the kids is, you know, like, get out of your comfort zone. Like, take today as the first day to start the rest of your life. Like, go to the gym. Like, you know, I promote that healthy lifestyle, man. Like, be good to your parents and go to school. Like, it's important, you know. And if you got a role model like me you think is cool, like, I just hope you know that doing the right thing is also very cool, because I wouldn't be here if I didn't make the right decisions. You know, I had somebody in my ear as well when I was young, so it's important.
That's cool, man. So I would have never expected you got bullied.
Yeah, you'd think, right?
You know, it's crazy. Like, some of like the most dangerous men in this world, you know, have experienced things that you would never think they've experienced, because you develop a shield. You know, you don't want to go through what you went through, so you create a defense mechanism to protect yourself. You know, we're all human. We all feel the same emotions, you know. So do you want to talk a little bit more about your experience with bullying and, you know, how you overcame that?
Yeah, I think that's a good, something I never really immersed myself in, but yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. When was it that you started to experience bullying? What you think the cause of it? And, you know, how did you maneuver through that when you were experiencing it? And, you know, what's a message that you could leave to maybe some kids out there that are experiencing something similar, and what they should do to get out of it?
So growing up through like elementary and middle school, I didn't really face a lot of bullies, but when I got to high school, you know, like, there's different developed people, you know, like, obviously I was a smaller guy when I got to high school. So I was, you know, a victim to bullying at like a very low level. But as I progressed into the school years and stuff, I didn't have like family and cousins and people out there. So I was kind of like teamed up against a little bit. I didn't have
outcasted a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't have an older brother, you know. I was usually defended all my friends, but when I went to high school, I was like the little fish in a big pond. So
yeah.
I kind of had to spend a lot of like dark times just trying to figure it out. What do I do? What do I do? And that's when I started training on my own, kind of just hitting the bag. That's kind of where everything started kind of building on top.
So you hitting the bag as a little kid, nobody was like training you how to box. You just wanted to release your...
I was fearful about getting beaten up in front of my sister, like in front of my friends. Like, so
yeah,
I had to make a conscious decision. And it wasn't something like, oh, I'm bad at math, I should get a tutor and go get... No, it was like I've got a fear for my life. Like, nobody's going to hold my hand through this. Like, I got to take initiative. And yeah, I mean, you know, it paid off, obviously.
Yeah. So you started hitting this bag. When did you decide that you wanted to actually get some help and learn how to actually fight?
Well, I went to school the next day and beat the piss out of this dude.
Oh my God.
But only because the backlying story we won't open up is he did disrespect my sister, so blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that was
so it's deserved.
Yeah, we both got suspended for like a few days. We were at home, just kind of brother sister. We fought both their sister. She fought his sister. I fought the brother. Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll probably cut that out for the kids. Yeah.
No, kids, disclaimer: do not use violence. You know.
Yeah, well, if you do, you gotta hit first. Hit first. No.
That's fine. Now I get what you were saying. You were saying because I said you're a martial artist, and you said not till like 4 years ago, because before that you were just fighting. You know, expressing yourself. So do you want to speak a little bit on that?
Yeah, actions carry consequences as you get older, you know, so that kind of stuff doesn't really fly now, you know?
Yeah.
As you know.
I know this very, very well. You know, we live in a different age as well. You know, when I grew up, people could, you know, fight. And it was like a little fist fight, you know, people will, you know, mutual combat. Now everybody has a camera, you know, there's 20 million cameras or knife guns. And believe it or not, people can fight nowadays. Back in the day, people didn't know how to fucking fight. There was no MMA. There was no BJJ. There was karate, you know, and there was boxing. And most of the kids didn't do karate or boxing.
You got D1 wrestlers.
Yeah, you know? So exactly. So most of the fights were just like a couple of wild punches. Then you started to wrestle or grapple, and then, you know, they broke it up.
Yeah.
Now, man, I see kids like they know how to fight.
Spinning heel hooks.
Exactly. They're throwing like freaking head kicks, freaking elbows and shit. They're breaking little kids' arms and stuff. They know how to choke you out. Like, it's a dangerous world out there, you know?
I've seen a lot of videos too of women being able to defend themselves with the jiu-jitsu, like choking kids out of school. I mean, you know, I mean, it's nice to see us having some sort of combat, social combat skill. Like, you look at the Russians, man, those kids.
They're fighting bears, bro. For training for fun.
They got like boxing programs in school and stuff, though. You know, it's a good disciplinary art to have. You know.
Yeah, I think for kids, it's great to be part of a sport, any type of sport, to learn discipline, learn camaraderie, learn a community, and then learn a discipline. The great thing about the martial arts is that on top of that, they teach you a practical defense tool that you can use in your life. And what that gives you is it gives you confidence. Even if you're a smaller guy and you walk into a room, you don't feel like you're going to get bullied or they're going to beat you up because you have a certain set of skills. Like
A good guard.
yeah, a good guard. Come here.
Yeah, come on.
let's do this. So I think for any people that have young children out there, consider putting them in some type of sport, so that they can develop that discipline, because if you don't have that, then you end up just doing what every other kid does, which is nothing. They're just on their phone on TikTok and just wasting time and living a life of dopamine rush.
That's where the crabs in the bucket analogy comes in. Circling back to what we were talking about earlier. I feel like the fear of you surpassing like the people around you can cause them to want to pull you back down. Like the crabs in a bucket. That's funny that you say that.
Yeah, man. So now you're you go from starting off and punching a bag for fun, and then beating the crap out of a bully, and then you start wrestling is the next thing.
Well, wrestling was in school, like during high school period.
Yeah.
But after high school, because I lost my opportunity senior year to wrestle, I took it up in jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
About 2018, I believe it was. That's when I won my first tournament.
Yeah. And then from jiu-jitsu, you came out here to the U.S., and then you started doing MMA out here?
So I did about 4 years of jiu-jitsu in Hawaii. I was also practicing striking, working with coaches out there. But as I moved out here, I was also nursing an injury. So once I got back to health, I saved up a good portion of money and stuff. Then I was able to fully immerse myself in the career that I chose. Like I was all in,
Yeah. At that point, you knew you wanted to do MMA?
Yeah. I mean, I train in the morning, come home, eat and sleep, wake up, eat, go back to training, run my 3 mile, come home, eat, sleep. It's just a routine, and I crave structure. I need to constantly be doing something, So that it satisfies me a lot. Just stay busy.
That's awesome. So let's go into your first fight, your first MMA fight. What was it like, leading up to the fight?
Okay.
You had only been training 6 months, right? So were you one of those guys that was like, hell yeah, let's do this, I want to, or were you like afraid, like what if I lose? What was going through your mind backstage? And then once you actually were in the cage, and then what was the outcome?
So I got a mouthful, but just bear with me on this. So my first fight, I had a tremendous amount of support from the bar from Hawaii. We had 2 party buses. We had sold about 250 tickets for this fight. I had these party buses rolling up, people flowing out of the into the event, people wearing my shirts, signs, banners, camera crews. This was all for my first fight, and I took it on 1 week notice against an opponent I didn't have much of a fight camp for. Trevor Deverston, shout out to him, much respect. But man, it was just an unbelievable feeling, just the amount of people, energy. We all carry such an aura, and I have all my warrior friends there. It was definitely something you'd have to be there to just kind of feel
the energy.
Yeah. But once I got in there and then actually had the fight, halfway through for a minute, it's like, holy, it was really what you want to do? It's like, fuck, because, we were having a back and forth brawl.
Yeah.
I fought a Division I wrestler for my first fight, who is right now, I think, ranked number 1 in California, state champ.
Jesus.
I lost split decision in my first fight.
So you went all 3 rounds?
I went all 3 rounds. It was really close. I split him up, cut him open pretty good, but, he had takedown points, and the judges saw it in his favor, which is okay. I decided to continue the sport, and a lot of people stop fighting after they lose or, feel shame. I felt shame, but I didn't feel it in a way that I wanted to quit. I felt like I had to redeem myself. And, I've been on a tear since, and just...
Yeah, so your amateur career is pretty illustrious. You were the state champ, and you also were the champ for a couple of different promotions, right? Mm-hmm. What was your record as an amateur?
So 5-1 with 3 finishes, and then I had 3 belts and 2 we're in different weight classes.
So what's your advice for an MMA fighter that's currently an amateur fighter? They've been competing for some time and are maybe a little hesitant to pull the trigger on going pro. When do you feel is the right time for a fighter to go pro?
In my case, like I can't pursue a hobby this long. I have to make money out of it, So for me, my process was rushed a bit. But I'd say, start with some basic sports. Of course, wrestling is the base I'd recommend. A little jiu-jitsu, a little boxing. It's going to be tremendous helping you. And once you feel like you're confident in some of your skills, that's when I'd say you're ready. If you don't trust your grappling, don't go out there and take a fight, especially against the grappler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the advice I'd give you. Just wait till you feel confident, feel ready. Scared is a good feeling. I've decimated most of my opponents when I'm scared. I'm frightful of losing. It brings out like a different side of you, and that's good. You got to learn how to embrace that,
Yeah. There's the trigger in your brain when you have a rush of emotions, specifically fear. Some people, I'm trying to remember what it is. It's fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Those are the four psychological things that people do. And the problem is that most people don't know how to control that fear and utilize it for what's in front of them. Usually people are walking around with a sense of anxiety because there's nothing really happening, but they're afraid. So that's anxiety. But when you have a freaking lion in front of you and you're afraid, that's good. That it's wired in your DNA to feel fear. And the reason you feel that is because one, your heart's going to start to pump faster. And the reason it pumps faster is because you're getting blood into your muscles. So now your muscles are able to
produce,
react faster. You can run, you can fight. You need to learn how to utilize it. But the problem is that most people never put themselves in the position to actually use the fear in a positive way. So I feel that the sport is like a lot of it is mental, because I have seen some fighters that when they're in class, they're sparring, they're training. I'm like, man, this guy is so athletic. Yeah. His conditioning is like, they're really good. But then when they compete, it's like a different person. They gas out in like 13 seconds, like they look like a shell of themselves. And it's kind of like 8 Mile when Eminem was choking, because they have all the skills in there. But it's psychologically, there's something that's preventing them to let go, So I have a process for myself whenever I'm doing something that's high stress, whether it's like I'm going to be acting in a scene, I'm going to be doing a podcast, I'm going to be on camera,
gotta lock in.
You have to find a flow state, and the way that I do things is I have to first find a place of complete relaxation, which is really, really difficult to do. Because all I'm doing is I'm thinking about the future, I'm thinking about the past, I'm thinking about all kinds of shit. So the way that I do it is I first focus on my breath, and then I try to get to a place of physical comfort. And then from that place, I start to build slowly, So for you, do you have like a pre-fight ritual, to get into a certain state? Because you've been competing for a long time now. Some people have something like that they logically think about, and other people is just natural to them. They just do the same thing all the time. So do you have something like that to get into that flow state?
Yes. So I have had, everyone's like, what do you do before fight? That's developed and changed throughout the years as things have changed. Like you were saying about like, we don't get to practice our fight and flight response, usually until we're in competition. Growing up in Hawaii, all the running through the forest and spearfishing, I had time to react to those. So my rituals developed have changed. I do get into a flow state, but it's more just having fun, energy, I see a lot of people sitting back there like shaking. They got their hoodie on. Like I just totally let go. Like this is what I love to do. 10 years from now, we're gonna be freaking watching the video, laughing. Just go out there and have fun, man. Like the bigger picture, it's like I think everybody just doesn't want to disappoint their parents or their coaches, and that's something that like once you let go of that, go in there and fight, man. Go in there and have fun. Like just show off your skills, and that could change the way some people react to fights. If you're worried about losing, I had to change my ritual because I like to get crazy before the fight.
Yeah.
Then I was like, do I need to be more calm? So it's changed. And
you have to try different things.
Yeah. But
like sometimes you're like, let me be more calm, let me be more excited.
But the happy part has been the best for me.
The happy?
I'm afraid, but I've learned to trust that fear inside of me.
Yeah.
Because once you get in the cage and you have I know that my body takes over once I get in there. All that time of being afraid, once I get in there, boom, good.
Yeah.
For the most part so far.
Hell yeah, brother.
So far.
That's awesome, man. So we got through, the calling. You want to do this MMA thing. You got through the mentorship part. The next part in the hero's journey is called facing the dragon. So what the hero is looking for is something called an elixir, which is a power. It's like it's your power, and the wizard would be like, here, drink this elixir. It'll make you the best fighter in the world. It'll make you invincible. Drink CBD. This CBD. It's an elixir, exactly. So the way that you find your elixir is unfortunately right at the brink of death. Right? When you face that dragon, the hero, when he faces like the hardest ship in their life, they're like, let's do it. And they go into it. And if you overcome, then you come back to the ordinary world a different person, So I'm positive, bro, that the people back in Hawaii, if they see you now, they're like, man, you changed. There's something different about you, right? And you're like, fuck yeah, there's something different about me. You look at all the shit that I've been through, And one of the things that I saw in you is you have the heart of a warrior, dude. Because most people, when everything is crashing down on them, will quit. They will give up, and I don't see that in you. You were competing with like a fucked up shoulder and you still won, So what are some of the dragons, quote unquote, that you have faced and overcome? And what are the lessons that you've learned during these hardships?
Yeah. So great question, by the way. As most people know, I competed in a combat jiu-jitsu tournament not too long ago, and I faced the injury 2 minutes in, dislocating my shoulder.
Did you know right away when it happened?
Yeah, I just stopped. I couldn't move my fingers, and then it slipped back in. Then it was work, and then it came. Then I was like, okay, we got a problem, and I had to make that decision right there.
Yeah,
I had the dragon in front of me, and I'm like, you don't want to keep fucking up an injury. Like, obviously, we know that, but
yeah.
Back home to all my friends, family, I'm sure you guys have all heard me say it, is I'm willing to die in there. Like, I put my heart and soul on the line. So when I face an injury like neck or whatever it may, shoulder, back, whatever it may be, knee, you got to make that conscious decision to reap what you sow. And I stay true to my word, man of integrity. So fighting through that, I'm grateful to have gotten the win, but yeah, I had to pull something deep inside out. I'm still exploring what that was because I haven't been to that spot before in my head.
Yeah, I'm curious, like when it happened, you have this guy in front of you that wants to beat you. And was it a rush of pain or was the adrenaline so high that you didn't feel the pain? I'm curious about that.
Well, the environment we're competing in, it's not a MMA fight. Yes, it is open palm striking, but it wasn't like my sense of getting like my sense of alertness wasn't as high as it would be in the cage. It was more of a calm and ethical execution is what I was going for. I shot it and he sprawled on it. I instantly knew it was out. And we had a lot of ongoing beef. Me and him do not like each other or whatever.
Okay, that had something to do with
it too.
So
that too was like I couldn't let him talk shit after,
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I still can't sleep at night, but it's all right.
That's funny. Yeah. Okay, so I get it now. So if it was an MMA fight, would you have made the same decision?
You gotta understand there is different factors. Of course, I wouldn't have been able to protect my head from kicks. But I would have still kept fighting for sure.
Damn, bro,
but
that's crazy.
I see people's arms go out and then they get kicked and knocked out. There is a different. I'd probably play on my back. Jiu-jitsu. I'd go into guard. People laugh about butt scooters, whatever. But come on in here, motherfucker. Yeah. Come give it a try.
Let me scoot a little bit closer to you, my butt.
But that's the options right there. Yeah. You saw I got the win off my back. So.
Did you have the thought of, oh shit, I want to quit? Like, did you think about quitting and then be like, nah, fuck that? Or was it just you didn't even think, you just kept on going?
Yeah, I didn't have the conscious decision. I just figured they were going to call the fight. Like, it was pretty clear my arm was hanging by my pec. I thought they were going to call it, but they kept making me fight. I'm like...
You're like, shit, I guess I'm in it.
But yeah, I mean, to win that tournament, I had to compete 3 more matches. So after they told me I couldn't compete for the next match, so I got, kind of lost my opportunity on the prize money.
Dang.
But I still won the belt with the TKO, 4 seconds left on the clock,
Yeah.
But yeah, so after the arm went out, it was back in. We went to the back and they were adjusting it. They were picking it, this arm, they were picking it up, and when they got it, it popped out. So that's when I knew I was going to need a little intervention, surgical intervention. But they did fantastic job, easy procedure. I got a couple scars right here.
Oh, dang.
But
did they have to reattach something?
Just a couple little sutures and stuff, just clean some stuff up inside. But yeah, I mean, he was like, how long did you go for? I was like, 4 minutes. It's like, shit, man. I mean, it's always fearful of like extending the damage. But we made it out pretty good. So.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the win, brother. That was amazing. That was a great moment. And I'm sure that after that, that you really are a man of your word. You're willing to die for what it is that for your cause. So for any fighters out there that are ever going to compete against Jake here, just know that you better come with that same mindset. So what's your next fight? I know there was a little scuffle I saw on Instagram with your opponent. What's the story there, bro?
Yeah, I guess one of my former opponents, teammates,
he was your teammate as well?
No, he's one of the guys I fought, his teammate.
Oh, I see.
He's got like a problem with running his mouth and stuff, so I guess we might just have to figure out what happens in the cage. Hey, but I'm here for it, man. That's the shit I like to do. You think you could beat me? Well, let's fucking find out.
Yeah.
Because I'm just here to fight, man. Like, maybe, you feel like you'll win. Maybe you feel like you'll lose. But I promise you'll never be the same. You can take that victory, but you will never be the same. I promise. That'll probably be your last fight. But, hey, let's run it, man. We got a lot of beef going on with each other. So I think it'd be a good fan favorite fight,
Yeah, especially after that little scuffle. I really want to see it now,
I took the video down with like 50,000 views.
Dang, bro.
So yeah,
that's what I keep telling people is like people show up to these events to see the characters, to see the fighters, both their skills, but also their persona, their personality. That's why they say styles make fights, because it's not only just the fight style, but the personality. You have to, even like pro wrestling, there's the baby face and and then the bad guy. So sometimes you got to be the bad guy, sometimes you're the hero, whatever it is. But that's what sells tickets. And at the end of the day, the difference between the professional and the amateur is that the professional gets paid to do what they do, So as a professional MMA fighter, now you have to think about your career when it comes to compensation, strategy, branding, negotiating. And the way you do that is through building a brand. Jake the Barbarian is a brand. Your name, your face, your haircut style, everything is what people go to see. And then the message that you leave to people is what's going to have them connect to you. Which is why I have this show. I want to showcase people that are pursuing something big, and I want people to hear their message. Because the way I look at it is as you're a creative. And creatives want to be seen, and they want to be heard, and they want to be understood. So I want to understand why people do what they do, So right now, is there a fight set, or right now is it kind of like in limbo?
Limbo, yeah. We're just, rehabbing the injury, and just we got some other opportunities we're working on right now and talking to nothing related to fighting, but more of like business opportunities and stuff outside of fighting. Yeah,
so you're a business owner. You're running a bar. What is some advice you could give to an MMA fighter that wants to make some money in this sport, because I know that that's a big struggle with a lot of, fighters that are starting off where they're maybe not making that much money per fight. Maybe they don't have a lot of sponsors. They don't have a lot of, what is something that you could give them that might benefit in their career?
So I, unlike most fighters who start out from baseline, I came into this career with money to spend on the fight and stuff, but so I knew in order to get my name out there, coming from Hawaii, I didn't have much of a people out here. I knew I had to sell tickets, I had to get shirts, I got flyers made, I posted videos, I tagged people. One thing I would suggest is get yourself a sponsor like I did. who helps aid the process of like meals, fight camps. It makes a tremendous difference. Put a lot of effort into selling your tickets. You get commission on that. That also you can put back into the business. You got to remember you're growing a plant from scratch. You got to water it and feed it, man. It's not just gonna bloom overnight. So there's there's a lot of factors that can cross over from the business world. But as an MMA fighter, like take it seriously. Count your pennies because you're doing something that you don't get paid in advance for. You got your lump sum comes after the hard work.
Hell yeah, brother. That's great advice. And as far as your sponsor, it's called Bio CBD. And you said a word earlier, biohacking. What is that exactly? I'm not too familiar with that.
Shout out my boy Royce Jacob. So biohacking is, I'm sure there's going to be a few people who are familiar with this. It's caught me I'm extremely fascinated by it. First of all, it's very basic. It's getting back to our main ancestral, like our primal routine, such as like being out in the sun in the morning with your feet connected to the ground.
Yeah.
I've been taking like a lot of not psilocybin specifically, but mushroom compounds like cordyceps, shilajit. There's different plants and herbs that I've been just taking more advantage of, immersing myself in more of a natural lifestyle, cutting out like the sugars and seed oils and stuff, and focusing on more of like when I put together a meal, it's like rice, vegetables, and meat. It's not, it's not too intricate anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping things simple and basic and focusing on gut health with like probiotics. It's all really extremely interesting to me. And, it's just something, it's became part of my routine.
Yeah. I think, your instrument as a fighter is your body. This is your instrument. Same thing if you were like an actor or whatever. Your physique and your body and your athleticism is your instrument. And if you don't take care of it, it's going to destroy everything. It's
going to be out of tune.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand what you mean by connecting to nature. And a lot of people, when they hear things like that, they might think like, oh, that's some woo-woo bullshit, But if you really know biology and you really understand the human body and you start to read these things, and then it makes a lot of sense. Like, why do I need to connect to the ground? Like, I'm not, and then you realize, oh, wait a minute, I am an electrical circuit, the human body is a conductor. If you touch electricity, it'll go right through you. So if you're wearing shoes that are freaking, they got plastic on them or whatever, foam, and you're not connected to the ground, you're never grounded, so your energy's off. If you're not having enough vitamin D from the sun, then you have a deficiency in that. And all of these basic elements, if you really start to implement them into your life, you actually see the results from it.
100%.
And the same thing to the opposite. All right, drink a bunch of fucking sugar, eat a bunch of crap, eat a bunch of processed food, drink a bunch of liquor, and then see how you feel, and then try to go compete, with that same routine. It's not, trust me, I've done it. Trust me, I've done it. It's Guilty. Not fun. But when you're like, you're in tune, then it just feels like freaking amazing, because I've been on both sides, So your routine has changed, or has it always been kind of this kind of natural way?
It's been changing, like I said, as I mature and grow. One crazy thing about that is, this all circles back towards mental health too. The way you take care of your body is going to directly reflect on how you feel and think about yourself. I just felt like that had a lot of, that resonated with me. And back to your question was?
As far as your routine has it changed a lot over the years, or have you always been kind of this health conscious guy?
Yeah, I haven't really been too health conscious in my life growing up, but until it started to matter. Of course, I've coming from the bar industry, I'm no stranger to what's out there, in terms of alcohol and stuff, and so I'm familiar with like the causes and effects, but I also too, like food has a huge factor. You got a guy who occasionally drinks but eats healthy versus a guy who doesn't take care of what they eat but never drank. There's clearly going to be, a difference on the left side. Food is fuel, and you got to take that very serious. So things have changed, like bone broth, implementing stuff like that, bone marrow, eating a lot of cartilage given my
You're like Liver King, bro. I'll bring you some liver.
fucking shout out Liver King. Yeah.
Shout out to the Liver King.
That's not all he's eating though.
Yeah, he's eating all kinds of bull testicles and shit. Whether with some trend in that shit. That's funny. So, have you ever struggled with any type of addiction as far as alcohol or anything like that?
Nothing that's held me back. No, I've never struggled with an addiction. More of the over obsession of like something I'll get into in terms of like a sport or a hobby, or like, when I find interest in something, I completely immerse. I actually am starting to develop an addiction of some type. It's called blackjack. Have you ever played that?
Oh my God, really?
I'm like,
you're a gambling addict now.
3 weeks into it. Yeah,
let me get you the toll-free number real quick here, bro.
I'm still riding that player's luck. That's player's funny. Luck. Still riding that. No, it's really fun, just numbers and stuff. And when you put money on the line, it gives me that feeling. I can't
rush.
Yeah.
Like you're competing.
Yeah.
100%. The competitive, this is something I do want to talk about is the warrior mindset, how to develop it. And one of the things that I notice about the warrior is that they are extremely, extremely competitive. They want to win and they don't want to lose. And whatever it is that you choose to do, you want to be the best at that thing. So what is your mindset and your philosophy when it comes to your mindset, and specifically when it's related to MMA?
Yeah, nothing worth having comes easy. I put that one together early on in my high school journey, and why that resonated with me is because always waking up and expecting something to fall in my lap never happened. It wasn't until I woke up and started working that I was able to achieve what I really truly wanted in life. And I'm not talking about a nice car or like a pretty house. I'm talking about self gratification. Like those medals I have in my room and those belts I have tucked under my bed, man. That's every time I look at it, it's like I'm proud of myself. It's just at the end of the day, like when friends and family are gone, like that's one thing that I've done in my life that I'm personally proud of.
Yeah, I think I could only speak as a man because I'm a man, is at the end of the day, we want to have a legacy, leave behind something that we've accomplished, Do you have kids? Are you married? Okay. So it's interesting you say that because there was this interview with Mike Tyson, and they interview him and he has all his belts right there, and then he's like, "Look at this, it's trash," and he just throws them. He's like, "I blood and tears for this." He's like, "You don't care about them?" He's like, "No, I did because it represents all the discipline that it took for me to accomplish them." He said, "But they're just a piece of metal. They're just a representation of the work that I put in." He said, "But now, like, I care about my kids. I care about my family because that's his legacy, right? Before it was like his fight career. That's going to be his legacy. Now his legacy is his kids. So it could change. But at the end of the day, I think as a man, when you transition from the warrior to the king, the warrior is willing to die for the protection of his family, right? And then the king is on a whole nother level. He has a kingdom. He has warriors that are fighting for him and his legacy. So right now I feel that you're the young warrior that wants to go out there and conquer. You want to get the belt. You want to accomplish all these things. And I can tell that you have the drive and the skills to do that, And at the end of the day, I think every man wants to do something similar in whatever field they have. Some people say, I want to do that in hip hop. I want to do that in acting. I want to do that in whatever. So that's freaking awesome, man. So right now, is your goal to get into the UFC? Is that your main goal?
Yeah, we've been in very small talks, but the plan is to optimally go. The optimal plan is to go to the Contender Series, get a couple of those fights, and then
hell yeah,
win a contract. But
have they reached out to you, or do you have any connections into that?
I can't answer that on camera, but I can say that we have discussed the options of if I'm offered a contract and if I'm offered a contract with the Contender Series.
Yeah.
Now, there's other options we can look at too. Of course, PFL and Bellator are on a very good skyrise right now.
Yeah.
But with where I'm at right now, looking at injuries and recovery time, we've had to kind of set some of those things aside. So I'm not sure what will come about in the next few months, but, we've been very we're pretty good with where we're at right now. It's just patience and keeping me chained down and leashed up, so I don't, I want to fight anybody whenever I can. Coach is like, yeah, we got to take our time, do things the right way,
Yeah. I feel you.
I like what you said about the warrior going to the king, because again, with like going back to the maturing stuff, I'll have these little phases where I'm like, oh man, it'd be so nice to have a boy, and I gotta wait a couple of years, But yeah, no, it's nice to see like I see like these. It's at the dog park I was telling you, and the guy and his partner, they were walking the kid, and it's just like, man, it's like you can see just such a different. There's just different eyes on him. It's just like full of love and like. Not looking for a problem. I'm over here like, like who am I fighting next?
Fight?
Not outside in the street, but
Yeah, I feel you.
Just different, different mindsets, and it's interesting. I like that you brought that up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the circle of life, brother. That's the journey we're in.
Yeah.
We're on a journey. We're on a road. We're all going to the same place. We're all gonna die one day.
Yeah.
So all of these fears that we have, it has that same end. We're afraid of dying. We're afraid of losing. But if you surrender to the process of whatever it is that you feel is for you, then you tend to kind of have like this relief of the stress, because I feel most people don't really ever surrender. They never surrender to the process, and they're too afraid of the outcome. They're afraid like, well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And I'm the same way. It's difficult to get rid of that. That's why people practice like meditation and they do all this spirituality, because what they're trying to find essentially is peace, but the warrior is ready for war at any fucking second, so peace is like a afterthought, and that's okay, because that's where you're at right now. Life is going to continue to go, and at one point it'll change to something different. And that's why the mentor is so crucial, because he's been through this shit over and over and over again. Your coaches have fought before, your coaches have been through the wars. They've had the injuries. They've healed those injuries. They know, hey, take it easy, because I was injured and I didn't take it easy, and I got fucked up more, and then it pushed back my career. So they want to help you because they see something in you, So I'm super excited to see your career blossom. I think you're a great talent, and I think you have a great brand for any promotion out there, to bring you in and develop you, Do you have a manager or an agent?
I work directly with YL, my coach, at the moment, so no.
Okay, that's cool, man. So
I pretty much took that on myself directly, because nobody can run the gram the way I like to run it. And,
you've grown a following, dude. You got a big following. You have fans. You have a sponsor. Are you looking for more sponsors?
Yes, looking for more sponsors. Preferably like athletic company. I'd like So some nice dry fit training gear.
There you go, bro. Nike, Reebok.
But I also love to support local, and that's kind of my philosophy coming out of small business owner is supporting local businesses. As you can see here, that's something I'm passionate about myself as well.
So who's your favorite MMA fighter, bro?
Stylistically, John Jones. And then promotional wise would be McGregor. Not stylistically, but because of the way he's created his character, and he's able to make you mad at him and make you hate him. And I actually began to like the guy because you get to see a fair share amount of footage of him behind the scenes. Same thing with Jake Paul. Dude's freaking brainiac. He's very smart.
You met him, right?
Yeah. We spent some time. We worked on some content together. I was in his YouTube video.
Oh, so shit! Hell
yeah. So, he really is a genius when it comes to exposure. Like when he talks to the camera, just the way he engages those are little factors. Like you don't practice them every day. Those are things he developed on his own, and It's what works for him. He's really the pioneer of YouTube. So
yeah. Him and his brother are great when it comes to branding and marketing and getting attention.
It's very clear. They got like half of everybody 25 and older hates them, and then everybody like young kids are all, you know, because it's the generation that they're bringing. You know,
yeah, they're polarizing.
Young kids, you know. So
you love to hate them or you love them.
My demographic, it's a lot of young kids and then a lot of like drunk old people from my bar. So. They're like the Barbabian mafia. Like it gave people like the way to feel involved. Like like they're like, yeah, we're coming to support. You know.
Hell yeah.
And then you got the kids. They got that. They're sticking their tongues out and stuff. So it's a little something for everybody. You know.
Hell yeah, brother. So did you make a conscious decision to grow your brand that way, or did it just happen organically?
It was pretty organic. I wanted some shirts, just to like some sponsor shirts to represent the brands, and I came.
Did you come up with the name, or how did you get that?
So my dad is my first fight name was Jake the Snake, but that one opened up too much. I got too much bullying opportunities.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So, anyways, my dad, he always called me Barbabian, like Barbarian, but the Armenian version. Anyway, so that's just kind of something that stuck, and it's original, and you know, people. You got to say it a few times, and then it's like you see it again. It's worked out pretty well so far.
Yeah. It fits your persona. You're definitely a barbarian, bro.
And then the mafia thing, like I said, it circles back to like the Italian side and giving people a way to feel involved. You know, just like show up, fucking, what's up?
Yeah, like at the end of the day, you're a representation for your people. You know, like I'm Mexican American, you know, and like we have our fighters. You know, we got Canelo. He represents our boxing. You know, Cain Velasquez.
That's the guy.
We have like our style too. Like the Mexican style of boxing is like always going forward. There's no backwards.
There's no backwards.
You know, and every culture and every demographic has like the person that represents them. You know, like the 40-year-old, you know, guy at the bar that's there every day with a big old beer belly, he's not going to be going into the cage. But if he's Armenian, Italian, he's going to be, I'm a fucking I'm a Barbabian, you know, you represent him. Yeah. So if you win, he's winning. That's why sports are so freaking popular. That's why these NFL players make millions, because they represent a whole community of people.
People want to be behind them.
Yeah. And the MMA fighter is that, but individually. You know, individually, you are a brand. You are a representation of a people. So the advice that I give fighters, you know, that are looking to build a brand and looking to make this their profession is, one, find out what that is for you. What is your target audience? What is your brand? What is your philosophy? What do you want to represent? Why are you doing this shit? You know, and then once you have that, treat it like an actual business. You know, I think most people that, you know, are not successful in whatever they do is because they don't treat it seriously. They treat it, like you said, like a hobby. That's the difference between an amateur and a pro. A pro has discipline and they create structure with a specific plan. You know, like when people come to me, they're like, because I've been doing the podcast for a while and I have a podcast network, I have a bunch of different shows, and they'll come to like, oh, I've been thinking of having a podcast. I'm like, all right, cool, tell me about it. And they have no structure, they have nothing. Like, oh, like, well, first, like, come back to me when you have, you know, something. Or like if you're an investor and you just go and you say, I want $100,000. I have this idea of doing this thing. Where's the prototype? You know, like Elon Musk says, you always have to have a working prototype. And then that prototype, you develop it, you know? So you can't get anything without actually putting in some work first and then, you know, getting it better and better and better and better. So I see your career, you know, continue to grow. I see your followers continue to grow. And it sounds like you have a strategy and a marketing plan, and it's working well, brother. So any way I can help you, I'm here to support.
Thank you.
Like I said, I'm really excited to see your career blossom. Is there any final words you want to leave to the audience?
Oh, well, first of all, much respect to you, and thanks again for having me on. Love the content, and I could spend all day going through it. So it's cool to get to come here and talk to you, and a big advocate for what we got here in front of us. Shout out.
Shout out again to the sponsors. You can order Maca Magic, hit me up, or you can hit up Maca. Where can we find your sponsor? Where we get the product, and also where can we find you?
So biocbdrx.com. You can find them through the link on my Instagram page, Jake_Babian. Follow my journey to the top. I love to support local businesses and young fighters up and coming. So shoot me a message. I'm here to chat with everybody. And thank you again, man.
Awesome. It's my pleasure, Jake. Guys, any sponsors out there? Hit up my brother here. Catch the train now before it's gone. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow Jake on Instagram. And we'll see you guys next time.